so sure that we ever actually won a hole. Yeah, we had a lot of ties. They were up 2 holes or 2 holes to go.
Okay.
We had to win the 8th hole. We did tie.
Oh, okay.
Miss had played the 9th hole, but it was just
Go to Anderson Saturday?
I think Coach Mark had a rain.
yeah.
So let's get it over with and we'll see how it shakes out.
They had 19 cars.
Yeah. That was
Mark,
me and Woody
Mark
this year
started from the fall and
along. Last year we made the playoffs and got to the first round. This year we made the playoffs, won the first round, got picked second.
But I mean,
It makes it hard
Next
to
year we'll
pass
make it to the third.
Right. Get their pro shop credits, get some slack.
Santos wasn't
Yeah,
there.
so I'm gonna get a lot of
She was
short
racing
credits
down
this year
in
because I was wanting to find a
South.
If it dropped,
Taylor Fern was racing somewhere else.
so I think I'm just gonna wait till next year to get it.
Colin Garrett for some reason.
Last year's one.
Sure.
I was surprised at that.
Still be new.
Sonny Adams was there.
It's a good turnout.
A lot of new guys.
Yeah, it was not 2 seasons.
Winchester 400 this weekend. Yeah, 26 inches. Hey, Mayor. So your project is upgrading this building, is that the $5 million project you're doing? I saw with Bo Biden and Secretary of State. So it's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
So they got 37 open now? Is 37 open?
No, I don't think so. I went open today. You think it's open?
I don't know. Is 37 open?
Wasn't last night.
Was it? I have to go back to that again.
All right, it is 6 o'clock. Let's call the meeting of the Board of Works and Public Safety to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Boylan. Here.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Tyner. Waters.
Here. Board, you were presented with the minutes from the Monday, September 8th, 2025 meeting. If there are no amendments or corrections to these minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
There's a motion on the floor by Mr. Krim, second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Going down the agenda to number 3 this evening are the claims. Madam Clerk.
You received the claims last week for September, from September 1st to September 30th. They totaled $2,305,018.71. Is there any questions on any of them?
If there's any questions for Madam Clerk regarding the claims, no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Tyner. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Boyland. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign.
I did want to say the majority of the paying money and stuff was out of here, so that's why it was.
Next on the agenda this evening is going to be additional claims. Madam Clerk.
Okay, I have two. The first one is for Stryker, for an ambulance cot. This is for our new ambulance once we get it, but we needed to go ahead and get it ordered. We're using that with funds on hand from the Medicare money. So they did, $4,000 was the discount. So I received this on Friday, so I wanted to go ahead and get it processed and then,
Is there any questions for Madam Clerk regarding the Stryker cot?
this is the same type of cot we have.
That is correct. No questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Boyland. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign.
The next one is from Renovation Collective. This is for the new bathrooms being constructed at the shelter house in the park. It was, a stop work order was placed on this project last week by the park board. The invoice that was already approved by the ERC did not total this, it was more. So, currently, this is the invoice that they have, the work that they have done, and the items and the materials that they have on hand. So this is less than what was approved at the ERC.
Board, do you have any questions for Madam Clerk regarding this claim? If there's no questions for Madam Clerk, I would entertain a motion to approve the $45,600 as presented.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Boyland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Moving down the agenda this evening are the utility adjustments. Utility adjustments are in the amount of $4,408.86, excuse me. That's $1,144.94 in water, $2,922.76 in wastewater, and $341.16 in trash. Are there any questions regarding the utility adjustments? There are no questions. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Waters. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Moving down the agenda this evening is a MetroNet agreement for the city of Elwood to switch to fiber. This analysis was conducted by our IT specialist, Jim Lynch, and he has determined that switching over to new MetroNet and the fiber optics that are available will be more cost efficient for the city. Madam Clerk, would you like to say anything about this?
Yeah, we did, you guys received a quote back in August, and those were first quotes that we had received. And then at that time, it did not look like MetroNet would be able to fulfill what we needed. And then after talking and different meetings that they had, they are able to fulfill it, and it ended up being about $7,000 less. So this is what we think will be the best track. It will be a process, though. This is not going to happen because there's a lot of reconfiguring and stuff. That our system is pretty old here, so they're going to have to re-update a lot of things here, and that is at no cost for us to redo that. So yeah, that was included, and I believe overall, once they had just got here in the summer when we were quoting it out and everything. So this is the brand new one.
And as Madam Clerk stated, the conversion cost is absolutely zero to the city. So this agreement has been recommended by Jim Lynch, so we put it in front of the board this evening to consider it. So if there are any questions, let's hear them now.
Does MetroNet represent any other cities?
I believe they do, but I don't know which ones.
They're gonna be working with Lynch.
That is correct, yeah, absolutely.
So Lynch will be consulting with them?
Yeah, he's gonna be their primary contact. His information is on the left side of the business agreement that's in front of you guys.
I do know that he's also been in contact with, Jim has been with different department heads, like Doug Stanton, taking pictures of something that they're doing on the backside end.
That was my next question.
Yeah, it is,
Okay.
yeah, so Doug was helping get in some kind of numbers for him, so it's in the works, like it kind of has been, either way, Comcast and MetroNet, they had started all that, so. I haven't had to talk to him yet.
Will they be having like a backup system in case something happens during changeover?
We won't change over 100% until it's fully functional. So the other one will still be in place. So yes.
And our, we go down a lot with Comcast frequently. So I know fire, I'm not sure about police, but they have some different backup plans and Wi-Fi boxes and things like that, so.
Any further questions, board? No further questions. I'd entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mrs. Boyland. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Moving down the agenda this evening is a agreement for professional services between the Etica Group and the City of Elwood. There are two representatives, I believe, in the audience for Etica. If you guys would like to come forward and approach the board and talk to them about the agreement that's in front of them, please. If you could speak into the microphones too, gentlemen. Thank you.
Absolutely. Toby Winter with the Etica Group. I'm the Director of Architecture and the Principal of the firm. We have met several times over the last few months with the mayor and fire chief to discuss, I guess, looking at a project for studying this building, renovations, and then eventually getting to a point where we can allocate that project. So our agreement includes, one of the key things was making sure there was good oversight of the process, as it moves forward through. We would be both that part as well as we would do the design, and then when it got bid into construction, and it would still be involved throughout that process to, I guess, maintain a level of quality Yeah, so, probably easier here. So essentially, we're gonna begin the design process will probably take roughly 6 months. Assessment, meet with departments, go through design, and then we would put out documents that would then be used to, bid, procure the project from the construction side. So that process of construction, 12 to 18 months, will be determined once we understand exactly what scope of work we're doing on the facility. But we'll be involved through that entire duration of the project. So,
Board, are there any further questions for Etika? They currently are working on a public safety building in Tipton. Did I read that right?
That is
very
correct.
good.
In
In
fact,
fact, we had a construction kickoff meeting today. So we're, it's a little bit different project, but that's our same kind of role with it, so.
Mr. Grant, you look this over.
Yeah, yes,
I have no issues with it.
And Board, this agreement would be contingent upon City Council approval this evening for the bond that we would do for this. The municipal lease does roll off this year, and to keep the tax rate neutral, we needed to do a project that would be sustainable for not only the municipal building, but some future things to come down the road. So with that being said, there's no impact whatsoever on the taxpayers. Reedy Financial is here, Matt Frieschi, that can speak on behalf of that. We also have our bond counsel, Barnes and Thornburg. Mr. Pittman is here as well to answer any questions. How this all started out is we knew that the municipal lease was going to roll off, and we started looking at projects that we thought would be able to make an impact and improve our public safety. The initial discussion was going to be to build a new fire station somewhere in the city of Elwood. So we called experts like Etika and sat down with them and got approval through the Redevelopment Commission to start a process to see if it would make sense that a new fire station could be built in the city. We looked at that, and it just, the stars didn't align. The location, I think that they needed like 5 acres, maybe 3 acres of property in the city limits, which we know that's limited in a lot of areas, and the location from where the majority of our calls would be ran compared to the logistics of the hospital. We just decided that it was best that we look at doing a different project, and that would be a municipal lease renovation. This building was built in 2003, and a lot of things have changed since the construction of this business, especially in the public safety and the fire department sector. In 2003, there were no female firefighters or EMTs. We've since changed that. There's some NFPA standards for decontamination stations that we would construct here to allow the guys to be able to do that and decontaminate in a centralized area instead of just throwing their gear into the washers. So there's a lot of things that we're going to do and talk about doing. These gentlemen would meet with every department head to see what the functionality of each office would be. There's also some renovations that we would do as far as our sidewalks and exterior work and the roof of this building, and we have some leaky spots and some ADA compliance on the sidewalks that are cracked. So all that stuff would be looked at. They would act as, like they said earlier, as the owner's rep representing the city. They would come to the meetings and discuss the project and the progress of the project with all entities and boards involved, because this is a lot of money that we're looking at approving. So if you have any questions, they're here for any questions to be asked. Board, if there's no questions, I'd entertain the agreement for professional services between the Etika Group and oh, sorry, Mr. Pittman.
When I look over the contract, recall that we need to have language in it that says that the city is not bound until it has money. Do you remember that discussion?
Yes, and we've discussed that, I've already discussed that with them. Is that language not in here anywhere?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I didn't see it. So if you want to approve it, conditional to that.
So what we would look at, board, is to approve the professional services agreement contingent upon the bond being financed and the approval from the Elwood City Council. Is that?
And to money having been appropriated for
Okay.
payment.
And the money being appropriated for the project, Mr. Grant, is that?
Yes,
Okay.
that worked for me.
It's a lot of and ifs, but are there any questions?
How much is the actual bond?
$5.1 million.
Yeah, the max on the documents for this evening is 5.13.
13 million.
So if you're able to come under that number, is this while we're spending it, lose it, or how's that work?
You're asking if we come in. Mr. Pittman, do you want to put a legal opinion on that? If they come in under the 1.3 million, what, 5.13, excuse me, what do they do with the balance if it's not all spent? Would you pay down the debt?
You could pay down the debt, or you could, within the general scope of the project, find other things that you would have liked to use money for.
Any further questions, board? Is there a motion to approve with the contingencies?
Motion to approve with the contingencies.
Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Boyland. Is there a second? Got a second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed would be the same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. Now in front of you, board, is a resolution number 2025-10-1. It's a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Elwood approving various matters in connection with the lease of an improved municipal complex project inside the city. Mr. Graham, would you like to discuss this?
Sure. This one is the, you simply have to pass a resolution that helps pledge the assets of the city for the project you just approved. And that this goes through the various steps on that. It's ultimately, of course, once again, it's all contingent upon the council's approval here in a little bit.
And this resolution, one of the things that it requires is the appraisal services for Trainer and Associates, which it states that in paragraph 3 as part of the resolution. And then there will be a letter of engagement for Trainer and Associates to appraise the building. So first we need to look at approving the resolution 2025-10-1. Are there any questions for Mr. Graham? If there are no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Krim. Is there a second? Got a second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Now, underneath this resolution is the letter of engagement for Trainer and Associates to do the appraisal of the city building, which would get the value prior to the bond being closed. This engagement, Mr. Graham, have you had a chance to review?
I have. Based on the resolution we just passed, I recommend we adopt the letter of engagement.
Board, are there any questions regarding the letter of engagement for Trainer and Associates? If there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Boyland. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Graham and Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed would be the same sign. Number 9 on the agenda this evening is an invoice for a scope of services for Reedy Financial Group. And This scope of services was done on behalf of the Madison County Council. There was a lot of questions about the impact of Senate Act 1 and the how detrimental it was to municipalities. The county council was looking at possibly doing a lit redistribution for public safety. Matt Frischie is in the audience from Reedy if he wanted to ask any questions, but basically the synopsis of this was the study was going to be done, but the county didn't have time to advertise the actual work prior to their budget system, during the budgeting. With that being said, they asked if the city of Elwood and the town of Pendleton would each pay half because it would benefit us if they were going to redistribute lit for public safety. But unfortunately, when the study was happening, what they noticed was that there was having a more detrimental impact on schools. So that whole redistribution of lit was pulled off the table at the county's request because they didn't want to have the negative impact on schools that was already being witnessed from SE1, nor would I want them to do that because it would hurt our school corporation just as bad. Matt, did I give a pretty good version of what happened?
I believe so.
Okay. So this board is just to agree to pay half of the study with the town of Pendleton. Are there any questions? If there's no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Boyland. Is there a second? Got a second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed would be the same sign. Moving down to number 10 on the agenda this evening is the scoping agreement. Scoping agreement is for the utilization of wind farm monies to continue to move forward with the potential sports complex. We have Billy from CARD in the audience. Billy, if you'd like to come forward, please.
Good evening. For the record, Billy Buckus, President of Cardin Associates, here before we talk about the scoping agreement, as Mayor mentioned. So as a reminder for all, the scoping agreement is before you after a collaboration with the city initially to respond to an RFP and be selected from that RFP process in January of this year. The scoping agreement represents a partnership between Cardin Associates, Aegis Engineering, KRM Architecture, and Garmong Construction to essentially do the initial due diligence So for us, again, it's an initial upfront observation and kind of due diligence period to ensure field house fits well, earth quality is good. We can partner with the landowner, hopefully, to work on master development opportunities around it, and it allows us to collaborate with this board to ensure what we're doing aligns with your vision and with the overall scope of the project. The last thing that I would say, in terms of this process overall, is again, every step of the way we will come here for approval. So before going from project and programming to the next phase, it will be before you for schematic design, and it goes down the road from there. So there'll be a collaboration with this body each step of the way. Always open for questions throughout the process as well. And then the final point tonight is these are costs that would be incurred if you were just to say go build the project tomorrow. So these are not separate project costs from the process. If you do indeed say, hey, Board of Works and other bodies have decided to move forward with this project, these fees would be quote unquote deducted from the project cost. The goal of this project process is any money that this board does allocate to this project would be returned to that source from project proceeds. Because again, these are costs that are being incurred if the project goes live, no matter what happens. It's the initial design and due diligence necessary. With that, I will stop fire hosing you and I will open up for questions if you have any.
So I do want to add, Board, that obviously we wouldn't be the financial driver for the project. So what we would do for each step of the way, from the Aegis Services to KRM to Carden Associates to Garmong, et cetera, we would communicate those totals to the Elwood City Council and to the Elwood Redevelopment Commission to gauge their comfort level, and then at any time the city can exit this process in the 4 different steps. Now, if we get down to the part where everybody's in agreement that we can build a sports complex, like Billy said, what has been previously spent will be refunded, and then it would go into the cost of the project. So this is just more of an insurance package instead of just going out and saying, okay, Card, Billy, you guys do your thing, and they put all of those expenses into building the project already. We're actually doing our due diligence from a financial standpoint to make sure that all entities would be comfortable considering the financing mechanisms and the cost, as currently we do not have those in front of us to make an educated decision. This money would be used from the county's wind farm money that was allocated to the city of Elwood for a potential sports complex. So it is not being used with taxpayer dollars. Board, do you have any questions for Billy?
How soon would you start?
Upon execution of the agreement. So we have the teams primed. I'd say that probably about a 2-week period to get survey back activated, but we'd start our due diligence again immediately.
What made you decide Elwood?
So again, with number one, the facilities that we have surrounding, we're already drawing several athletes from this community. So the big thing for Carden Associates is how can we partner with communities to build assets like this, then promote subsequent development around them, right? Whether it's hotels, additional residential opportunities, dining, et cetera. The market study that I mentioned that was done, my goodness, maybe 2021, 2022, even at that time, showed that there were the metrics we look for on the overall size of what we're trying to do. And
facility be used for things other than sports?
It can be, yes, so we use our facilities to host wholesales, consignment sales, conventions. We've hosted, if you're familiar with the Battle of the Bands in Indy, for instance, they'll literally come and use our facilities for practice and for lodging. They set up cots, it's one of the cooler things we do. The list goes on and on, it's a multi-use facility at the Ward.
Thank you.
Board, if there's no further questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the scoping agreement between Cardin Associates and the Elwood Board of Works and Public Safety.
Motion.
Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Krim. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Boylan. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Thank you, Board. Thank you, Billy. Board, that does wrap up the agenda for the Board of Works and Public Safety for Monday, October 6, 2025. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Tyner. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Krim. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
No, the other one. The one with, it's GICA.
I like the Phillies team, I never checked the Philadelphia team, so I like that team.
The Dodgers are gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, the game one, I think the Phillies have.
Yeah, I'm not sure what way to go to.
The Dodgers picked up 3 Hall of Famers to start their lineup.
That's hard.
Yeah.
But nobody there asking.
I will, 2 seconds.
You did it all, hell, that's the damn thing to do. No problem. Well, I know, I just wanted to say that. I just want to say, not for you, that never got done. Any idea where the hell he's going? He's like somebody in a volleyball game.
I brought up 2 ribbons.
Don't even ask, I don't have any more money, I don't have to go out and pay for it.
That's who we're waiting on. Oh. As soon as Mr. Tyner gets back, we will start the meeting.
That stuff's still here.
Welcome back, Mr. Tyner. We were concerned that you may have exited stage left. So. All right, let's call to order the Elwood City Council meeting for Monday, October 6th. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Abernathy?
Here.
Everson? Here. Keelish?
Here.
Noon? Here. Tyner?
Here.
Waters?
Here.
Wright?
Here.
Councilman Keelish, could you lead us in prayer, please, and then we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Father. We gather here this evening as we've had a great stretch of many glorious days you've given us. We appreciate that. We look forward to what's coming here this fall. Thank you for the harvest we're started, and we hope that it's bounteous and safe. Lead us this evening as you see fit. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving down the Common Council agenda this evening is public comment. If you have public comment, please come forward, state your name and order of business for the council to address, please. If there's no public comment, we'll move down to the minutes approval. Council, you were presented with 2 minutes to approve, the first one being on September 8th, 2025. If there are no amendments or corrections to those minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Noon. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Abernathy. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. You also have the minutes from a special meeting that was conducted on September 22nd of 2025. If there are no amendments or corrections to those minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Abernathy. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Keelish and Mrs. Noon. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed, same sign. Moving down the agenda this evening is ordinance number 2490. It is the 2026 budget. Madam Clerk.
We are now at the, we've had the public hearing and meeting in September, so now this is usually the adoption hearing. Is there any questions or anything that anybody has seen since last month? There have been no changes. What was advertised in the paper and everything is still the same.
There are no questions from Madam Clerk regarding the budget. We would entertain a motion to read and consider ordinance 2490. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed would be the same sign. Now, council, we're looking for a motion to vote on ordinance number 2490 by roll call vote, please. Got a motion by Mr. Waters. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Noon. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Abernathy?
Aye.
Everson? Aye. Keelish?
Aye.
Noon?
Aye.
Tyner?
Aye.
Waters? Wright?
Moving down the agenda this evening is ordinance number 2491. It is a utility salary ordinance. Madam Clerk.
The first salary ordinance is 2491. This is all the utilities that is on there, and anybody that may have separated of separation of wages or get paid out of regular and utility. Then 2492 is the city one, with 2493 being the elected.
So council, we're looking, and these have already been presented, is that correct, Madam Clerk? So what we're looking for now is a motion to read and consider ordinance 2491.
Was there a comment and a comment after? Comment regarding the salary ordinance?
Yeah, if you want to give a comment, go ahead.
After speaking with several employees, contrary to what I feel like was portrayed to us, I don't think the morale of the overall majority of employees is in favor of this. I don't think that they feel valued. The history, in their words, has always been it's kind of an all or none thing for the majority of raises, and for only 4 people to get substantial raises is it's just unacceptable in my eyes. I mean, I know we would like to give everyone raises, and it doesn't always work out that way, but these are substantial, and I would recommend that we, I don't know what the next phase is, but do not pass the salary ordinances and utilize this money in some other way, or come up with some other way to give raises to either everyone or decrease this amount so that we can give some type of a bonus or something to the other employees, because I just don't feel like this is suitable for raises.
So council, since this administration had been elected and we've done budgets starting in 2017, we were able to give 34% raises in the past 10 years. In 2017, we gave 3% across the board. 2018, we gave 3% across the board. 2019, we gave 3% across the board. And 2020, it was 3% across the board. In 2021, there was 0% given because COVID, so we did stipends to the employees. In 2022, there was 4% raises. In 2023, there were 10% raises. In 2024, there were 5% raises. And in 2025, there were 3% raises for the total of 34% in 10 years. For the statement for employees to feel undervalued, I think that's a hard pill to swallow when we've given 34% in the 10 years. Not necessarily what employees or which employees you talk to, but what departments did you talk to?
That's between me and those departments. I don't have to share that.
So
I understand that we've given 34% over 10 years, but if you just read all those off and they were all at 3% or 5%, and the 1 year it was 10%, but it was overall for all employees. You're asking for 4 employees to get over 18% in raises.
That's not necessarily true, Mrs.
That's what
Madam
Clerk shared with me.
When we gave percentages, there were individuals at the street department that got over the flat rate. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's been different individuals that have got different raises other than just flat across. But
And
positions.
Mrs. Noon, if you talk to any of the departments that were unionized, you violated the collective bargaining agreement because the union stewards weren't present.
Okay.
So if you did talk to any of the unionized employees, there'll have to be some things that we'll have to sort out after that. Council, do you have any more comments?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, I can't see. Yeah.
It's Nancy.
Okay, come forward, please.
Okay. So what my question would be, so then was there a union representative present for the salary negotiations?
We signed a paper with them that we weren't doing unionized raises this year.
So there
With
was,
this.
because, and I'm just asking for my knowledge,
I
because
talked to
I
Larry.
was told there was not ever a union representative present.
Yeah, I've talked to Larry, and then I also should have the paper that they weren't gonna do negotiations from the SMART union that was signed, maybe not by Todd Duncan, but I would have to look and see who had that signature.
Okay, because that's not how it was presented. negotiation with the union.
Yeah, I
The union wasn't included.
I spoke to Larry and that we weren't doing unionized raises this year. Okay.
I'll ask him.
Yeah, no
That's
problem.
not how
And
it
we
was
can,
explained.
we can all sit in the same room so we hear the same information.
Absolutely.
And I'll find the documents.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we asked for like a copy of our union contract.
I have one of those. And did you not get it from?
No.
Okay, I've got a copy in my office.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. Okay,
Thank you. So council, in front of you is ordinance number 2491. Is there a motion to read and consider ordinance 2491? No You got a motion. I've got a motion on the floor by Mrs. Everson. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Nay.
Mr. Wright? I didn't hear if you were a yea or nay.
Mayor, I recommend a roll call vote.
Okay, thank you. So we need a motion to read and consider ordinance number 2491 by roll call vote, please.
Motion.
I've got a motion by Councilwoman Noon. Is there a second? Got a second by Councilwoman Everson.
Abernathy? Everson? Keelish?
Nay.
Noon?
Nay.
Tyner?
Aye.
Waters? Wright?
No.
Motion passes with 4. Okay. So passes 4 to 3. Next on the agenda this evening is ordinance number 2492. This one is the city salary ordinance. Is there a motion to read and consider by roll call vote? Got a motion by Mrs. Everson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Excuse me. We just do, yeah, roll, sorry. This is a little bit different. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Abernathy? Everson? Keelish?
Nay.
Noon?
Nay.
Tyner?
Aye.
Waters? Wright?
No.
Motion passes 2492. Next on the agenda this evening is the elected official salary. There are no changes to this salary ordinance. So we just need a motion to read and consider by roll call vote, please. Got a motion by Mrs. Everson, second by Mrs. Noon. All in favor say aye. Oh, excuse me, just roll call.
I'll get it figured out.
Abernathy? Everson? Keelish?
Aye.
Noon?
Aye.
Tyner?
Aye.
Waters? Wright?
All right, number 8 on the agenda this evening is Resolution 2025-19. This is a municipal complex lease debt. We have representatives in the audience from Reedy Financial, Matt Frieschi, and Barnes and Thornburg, Tom Pittman. I know there was a lot of questions regarding this, so these gentlemen are here to help answer any questions and facilitate the project continuing to move forward. Guys, if you'd like to come forward and speak into the microphone so all our family and friends at home can hear us, and go from there.
Good afternoon, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Ritchie, Reedy Financial Group. I know some of you seen some emails passed around tonight. We're just here to, like I said, seek your approval, I believe, for a resolution to enter into a lease between the city of Elwood and the Elwood Public Building Corporation, I believe, to essentially issue a municipal bond for renovations to the City Hall Fire Station Complex. So as you know, and as I've said via email, the initial plan was to move forward with a financing to look at replacing some of the fleet for fire station, for the fire department. That plan kind of got changed with the issuance of SCA 1 due to some real technical pieces of that bill that created rate cap thresholds for debt based on special districts. That plan kind of had to get altered a little bit to move towards an issuance to renovate this facility solely because entering into a lease through a city leasing authority rather than a redevelopment leasing authority with the new bill allowed us to essentially replace the municipal lease that's falling off. So there's roughly 700 grand, probably closer to 800 grand in levy that's falling off as the 2011 lease expires after the end of this year. So essentially it became to a point where we either have to move forward with the issuance by the end of the year, or that levy will come off the tax rolls, and that levy will be gone. The only way to bring that levy back, if we were to let it expire, would be to raise tax rates and raise the levy in subsequent years. So in an effort to essentially stabilize the debt levy that the city has, we move forward with this plan, which would be, like I said, flip-flopping the fire fleet to a later point in time, and moving forward with the renovation lease first. So I do have some packets I can hand out that kind of puts together our analysis showing essentially that we're keeping the debt levy level. We're not adding any more dollar amount of debt for the city from a levy perspective. And we are keeping, it's actually because of the great AEB growth that the city is going to experience from this year to next year. I believe it's 10.6 or 10.4%. It's listed in this packet as well. There will actually still be a tax rate decrease, while also maintaining, as I said, the debt levy and not experiencing any additional taxes from the taxpayer perspective. Actually, with the passage of SCA 1, with some of the new credits that were involved, there will actually be less taxes on the taxpayer with an average household gross assessed value of $120,000. We'll actually see a $120 decrease on their tax bill for the year. So I can pass these out if you like, but essentially, I know I've given you a lot of via email, kind of summarized it there in words, but this kind of really puts together puts together our full analysis showing essentially why we had to go with a lease. As Tom mentioned in the building corporation meeting earlier, the amount of debt that the city's allowed to issue is constrained by the constitutional debt limit, which is a calculation which is 2% of 1/3 of our assessed value. And based on, we also, from that calculation, we have to reduce any principal amount of debt outstanding. So the 2024 general obligation bond that we issued last year, that would reduce the amount that is available underneath that constitutional debt limit. And then the other bucket of available constitutional debt limit would be the redevelopment district, which is why I said we had to go this route as opposed to the fleet. When you look at replacing a fleet, we're talking essentially updating our capital assets, so to speak, fire trucks, ambulances, so on and so forth. Going that route, the only way to enter into a lease for those assets would be to go through the redevelopment authority. Well, the redevelopment authority lease is actually a tax levied on the redevelopment district, because last year in an effort to maintain tax rates, the redevelopment commission went forward with that redevelopment district bond, that 1-year bond to maintain tax rates. Because of that, and because it's only 1 year, the tax rate is to the level for that debt that it exceeds the threshold under SCA 1 that would essentially make any dollar amount of property tax debt issued on that redevelopment district subject to automatic referendum. In an effort to avoid those additional legal steps and additional processes, we move forward with, like I said, this lease through the city building corporation to renovate this facility, and then we'll look to do the fleet in a subsequent year, hopefully next year. The way we can structure the bonds is to, like I said, soak up the same debt levy as this year to next year, and then reduce the levy needed for this financing in future years to allow that fleet bond to come on in the future year. I know I threw a lot at you there, so happy to answer any questions. Like I said, you should have my entire analysis that kind of broke this down, analyzed what path could we move forward with, and kind of of came up with this is the best route to maintain the debt levy, do the project that the city needs to get done, and give us flexibility in future years.
Well, I guess I would have a heartburn with why we do it. I have a heartburn with the fact that we've known the entire year that we were going to do this. We sat here tonight, and you're asking me to approve a $5 million bond. I have no idea what you're saying now. You've not been provided any list of what you're going to do, how much it's going to cost individually. And I'm not used to writing blank checks for $5 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the overall overarching use of the funds will be for renovation of the fire station / city hall complex.
But how does it come up with 541 if we don't know what we're doing?
So the other threshold that we're running up against, any property tax debt that you were to move forward with, like I said, there's multiple different constraints on what you can issue. The one that we're running up to now would be you're limited to 1% of your gross assessed value. So the city's gross assessed value listed in that packet, 1% of that amount is 5.13 and change, 5.135, I believe. So that was really the maximum amount of property tax debt for a project that we can move forward with. Like I said, in order to maintain the levy and not lose that levy, this is the only path forward to move forward.
So you come up with a number that's maximum, and then you want us to pass it, and then you back in how you're going to spend it.
I'm not backing into how anything's being spent. Let's be clear.
That's the questions that I've asked you, and I still have not received anything on a breakdown of how to spend the money. So I'm supposed to sit here and vote to take $5 million of the taxpayer money, but I don't know what we're going to do with it. And we'll have to be a lot of confidence that we'll have in us when we do something like that. And we've had all year, when we do this, that is going to roll off.
You're absolutely right. We knew the debt was going to roll off. We didn't know the implications of SCA 1 at the time that it was being considered and passed. Like I said,
Well, that's what, March, April?
July 1st, it went into
July?
effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've had this many months, and we still don't have any money.
Because we still didn't know that July 1st was gonna affect the fleet part of it. When was that? When did we realize that? That was the end of July?
yes. And that's why, like I said,
If that
when-
wouldn't happen, you would know, like, say if that fleet, you guys would have had the color of the fire truck, the color of all that. Everything would have been ready. That's just,
yeah. Not, like I said, we're jumping, I shouldn't say jumping through hoops. There's a lot of constraints that we're running up against. SCA 1 just added 5 new ones. So analyzing how we can maintain our levy from a property tax debt levy perspective and move forward with a project was quite a challenge. I think Tom's been doing this 20 years. He can attest to the fact that this is one of the more complex ones as far as how we got to where we are today.
So if SCA 1 hadn't passed, we wouldn't be looking at the model, we'd be looking at buying fire trucks.
That is correct. That would have been the first thing
So
to do.
now we can't buy the fire trucks, so we can create construction that we need to do.
we can't do it till next year because of the 2024 bond when it comes off.
The fire fleet can be done next year because, as I said, the fire fleet has to be done through a redevelopment authority, which is the redevelopment district rate. That's a 1-year rate. Next year it's 0.
So that's what we're at. Here we are telling people we can't give them raises. We're telling people that we had to cut the budget, and yet we're spending money like we're doing incentives.
If you'll see, actually on that
Just so we
separate,
don't lose tax rate.
well, actually, as I said, the tax rate's going down. We're keeping the same debt levy. The projection shows the same debt levy, and then in future years, that debt levy starts to decrease. You'll see that on, I forget what page 5.
Well, that makes sense to everybody except the tax rate. Because he's probably said, if we didn't do this, I could get a tax rate.
Well, actually, no, if you look at page 6, you'll see that these are taxpayer impacts, as I said, that I put together for a $120,000 gross assessed value home. If you move forward with no bond issuance, not moving forward with any project to maintain the levy, the tax rate or the taxpayer payment is the exact same as if you were to move forward with this project.
So we eliminated $1 million worth of payment and the tax still went up.
Because it's absorbed in circuit breaker.
Correct.
I understand that. Okay. So I'm asking that we have some kind of amendment to this resolution to where we can not have to vote for one check, and we can vote for some type of control as to what's going to be spent. I'm just not liking to tell the taxpayer we're going to spend $5 million. We don't know what we're spending on, but we're going to spend $5 million.
Mr. Pittman, the floor is yours.
I'm sorry?
The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to just make sure people know that this is the first of 3 council meetings at a minimum to deal with this finance. And so what you got is this is kind of a launching type resolution. It doesn't bind you to anything. It acknowledges that you received a petition from taxpayers, which you did. As far as, I mean, you could, if it would be helpful, we can, let's see here, for example, in the first, in the paragraph number 1, the council approves the petition and determines that there's a need for the project and that the city shall finance the project by if it would be helpful, we could say that the council, approves the certified petition and preliminarily determines on behalf of the city, subject to further final action by the common council. I mean, it would be, it also, it sort of already says that, but if that would be, it would make people more comfortable. We could.
But we could put the like spending plans or something like that in the next like resolution or ordinance.
Well,
I mean, where would that go?
Even the approval isn't final until that third meeting. So, I mean,
Well, I would be more comfortable if I knew what we were spending the money on.
well, don't we have, we have general categories of the expenditures.
So Etika has.
Etika, the organization that we just approved a contract today with to start the work contingent on approval tonight, would be able to do the cost analysis on all the items that were previously mentioned in some memos that came out from Mr. Pittman stating that HVAC would be looked at, roofing would be looked at, all department heads would be consulted on what they would like to see in their departments to improve functionality as this building was built in 2003. In addition to that, we would be looking at constructing a decontamination station in the fire department truck bays for the safety of our firefighters and get up to NFPA standards. So yeah, until Etika does their due diligence on their part by communicating with our department heads, then we could get an itemized list and costs.
You have no idea right now what any of that's going to cost.
Not.
Are these gonna be 3 consecutive months, or you said there's at least 3 meetings? Are they gonna be consecutive months, or could you about me?
Right now, our schedule contemplates a meeting on the 13th, and then your regular November 3rd meeting. So those 2. Let me, if I may, the categories that are going to be looked at, possible roofing repairs,
kind of explain how the process started. When we knew the municipal lease was going to roll off, we went through the redevelopment commission and they approved Etica to come in and do a study for a new fire station. So that's why we were a little bit behind on the process. Once that study came back, it didn't look like it was going to be fiscally or financially responsible to be able to build a new fire station and have to add extra manpower and the location of the runs and proximity to the hospital, all of those things. So then we dropped back and we looked at, okay, what is our next option that we can do? And we talked about replacing the fire fleet. Unfortunately, as Matt Frieschi said from Reedy, that is not on the table for this coming year. So the next process to be able to keep the debt levy was to look at renovations to our existing building. So Mr. Graham, if you want to talk a little bit about public bidding and
Well, sure, and I won't belabor the point too much. I did talk about it in an email that was sent to everybody, and Allison followed up on that again this morning. But on projects of this scale, and I think everybody acknowledges this, you want to be careful of construction by committee, and committee in this case is the council. Intentionally, legislative bodies like this one are inefficient. That's why there are rules on how many readings there has to be, and you have to have super majorities to pass on the first night. If you get into the weeds and get into, and Allison, I thought, explained this pretty well in her email, but if you get into the point where the council has too much, and I don't mean to say that, this is your decision. I don't mean you saying what you're doing is wrong or what you're doing is right. But I will say that if you, a project like this, if you get into a position where the council is having lots and lots of meetings to approve things, you're going to slow down the work a lot, and contractors are going to see that, and they'll realize they're not going to get paid for a while, or they won't bid. So I just caution you on that issue that, you want to put some milestones in here or something like that. That's your discretion. You get to vote that, and only you get to vote that.
I don't think anyone's ever proposed to micromanage to the degree that you just said, okay?
And that makes, yeah, David, I'm not accusing you of that, I'm just saying, there's talking about being that level, but you want to be cautious with that your contract, I invite you to read that, some of you I know have. The contract that was just adopted by the Board of Works for or the Building Corporation for was it Etica? And take a look, they're your owners rep. They will be representing us. And by us, I mean everybody that's had a meeting here today. And that they will be our conduit. We're paying them to be our conduit. But they will be our conduit, and they will work directly with the contractors and things of that nature. It's not a BOT, but it is it's a situation where we will have a person to go to with the level of expertise to overlook at this that we may not have as a group.
A couple of questions. If we don't pass it tonight, what's the deadline on us passing it and still being in effect? I mean, do we have to wait into the year before we lose the right to?
You have to complete all of the procedures before the end of the year.
I will say that Tom's deadline or timeline, which he usually doesn't put a lot of fluff into, is the last day currently on our timeline is December 30th. So it is literally up against the wall.
I got a couple things. So, just for the record, I know Mr. Pittman, you stated about the petition, and I just want that to state, I understand there was a petition passed around or circled around, but I don't feel like that was really, it says in here, the taxpayer, yeah, but it was more so city employees and friends and family of city employees.
I have a comment. That's an absolute lie because I was taken to a volleyball game and passed around to the public. And if you would ask that question instead of accusing, you would know.
Did they understand what they were doing?
Yes, I was there. It was explained, and Bill Savage explained that. But you accuse instead of asking actual facts.
No.
I'm tired of lies being spread.
It's not lies. We're tired of not being told things.
No, you lied, and I was there while it was being done.
So you're telling me that every person that signed that petition
Yes,
understands? I'm talking. I have the floor.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Anyway, back to what I was saying, and
And then the comment about the contractors, you know, potential delaying payments to contractors. I've worked in government for a long time, and any contractor who works with a municipality or a county understands that there could be delay in payment because of the processes that are in place.
Not to that extent.
Not to that extent, and I don't think any of us are asking to micromanage any type of project like that. I do that on a daily basis of $1 million projects. I don't want to do that here. What we are asking is that we understand what the money is going to be spent on, and that we appropriate some of it. If it's an HVAC and you say it's going to be $350,000, great, we're fine. But if it's going to exceed that, then it needs to be reappropriated from us. And in the Board of Works meeting earlier, it was talked about that if we come in under $5.3 million with the leftover money, that it can go towards other projects. But what are those other projects? Are there parameters on that? Because to me, that's very general. Like, that it can go to any project. Would that come back to us for approval?
Well, it has to be one of those categories.
Okay, okay.
It's limited to those, and, you know, I think that the administration would like to assign dollar maxims, but they are not.
I wish Etika was here, because I was gonna ask them that.
And
I think that's the point, is Etica's working after their approval
I thought
process
they were.
tonight to get those dollar thresholds for those different categories, right? That's what we're working towards.
Why is it not saying we're arguing?
I was gonna ask them that.
And I'll find out, and I'm more than comfortable, as in the emails I said, to give the council the parameters they want to get this passed, whatever that needs to be for, that it's legal for them to approve whatever dollar amounts and whatever needs to happen. It's,
I got one more statement back to the me spreading lies back there. I'm not spreading lies. What I don't like is that this was not put out to taxpayers. You took it to your daughter's volleyball game, the mayor's volleyball game, and it should have been publicized on social media like we do everything else in the city, for it to come to the clerk's office or the water department, for any taxpayer who wants to come up and find out what's going on or what we're going to be doing. That was my point. Thank you.
I'm 5 days to do it.
But we still tell the city everything.
Okay,
No, I'm just
so,
telling you, I'm not giving anybody other excuses other than we had 5 days and this whole situation has been hurry. So it looks sketchy, it looks hurried, it looks rushed.
and that's exactly our problem.
I'm not lying to you about
It's
that.
hard and it's rushed, and we don't know much of what's going on. Well, you said that there was going to be like 3 more meetings, so if we pass this tonight, we'll obligate with this other company. Because it was subject to us passing this. So then we're under contract with them.
The contract says that unless money has been appropriated, then you're not committed to spend it.
So after tonight, we wouldn't start working.
not until we have money in the bank, and that was the amendment that was requested by Mr. Pittman in that meeting.
I mean, they know that, and, you know, we need to be going to move it along.
So the money wouldn't be available until we pass the bond issue, correct?
That was the amendment made.
So it would be,
Okay, so when would the next meeting that involves us in the approval process be?
there would be a public hearing
On the 13th,
on the 13th, and again, that has been advertised to the public, and so the public will be allowed to offer their opinions at one hearing, and then not just one meeting, but a second hearing on November 3rd. So there will be input, you know, as far as maximum amounts per category. I think the mayor's all ears on that. It's hard though, because none of us have expertise on how much, sidewalk.
Well, I've built quite a few buildings at the school board in my own business. And I would hate to think I got this far and I had no idea what it was going to cost. I mean, that would mean I would be a poor manager at that point. That I don't have any idea what a sidewalk
I just found this out, so I can't, I thought Etika would have more of, not HVAC, sidewalk, and fire department, like more of a detail, not just the general stuff, that they would have it by at least, you know, so if you guys did this, contingent of that, and then we do the next one, and then if you're saying approval, if it's not done until December, like, I thought within the means of those times we would have something, but I just found out we won't have anything.
You think we would not? I think that the architect would give us.
No, we will not.
Okay.
Like, nothing.
Etiquette would not start until the money's in the bank. That was per the amendment.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they're willing to work at risk as far as doing something. I think it would be reasonable for the city to ask them.
Yeah, I think they can't get paid until the bond gets filed.
Correct.
Right, I think that's the hinge here, is they can't get paid, but we could talk to them to get these dollar thresholds, which is something that we see coming.
Well, I'm confused because next week is the public meeting. How do we answer questions from the public when we don't even know what we're doing?
Well, we know what the categories are. We know what the maximum bond is due. And I think that for those hearings, I think we could probably get reasonable estimates based on the experience these architects have. We'll try to do that.
The architects I've dealt with have always been able to do that. They haven't been able to give you reasonable.
Right, that's, we'll ask them.
One of school, it was all $600.
Right.
I'm sure architects could spend way more than 5.1, I'll just say that, for the renovation. So I would assume that they could get us some form of, calculations to determine, hey, here's a maximum threshold for X category, Y category, Z category. And then, like I said, you guys can go from there and say, that's good enough for that category or not. I want approval if we go over that, if we move more to this category versus that category, because at the end of the day, like I said, the max is 5.135, right? We can't go over that, so they could probably spend more, but at the end of the day, that's the dollar amount for the projects. What that is allocated to amongst that, that's, like I said, up to you guys.
Okay, now I've also been told that if we do this, that every dime has to be spent on this project. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so, but that's a wide range because it says the property.
Not just the property, but also within those 5 categories.
Well, you say that, but I've read this 3 times. I don't see where that's manageable.
Well, it's.
And I know how people like to buy contracts so that you can whip them. And if I saw what said absolutely no variation, then I would understand.
Well, why don't we just amend this resolution to say that any bond proceeds will be limited to the categories attached?
That would be a start.
And also, I think Mayor and House and Jeff, we should ask the architect to give us their best estimate by category, so that we have that before the meeting.
I'm going to start that conversation in the morning.
Well, we can ask you for that, I thought for a while.
Well, I don't think that I didn't have a clear sense of that, I apologize for that. Yeah, you're asking for information that we can get into the next, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Okay, so let's say we go ahead tonight and do this, hoping that we'll get all this information that we want.
Right.
So when do we vote again?
At the last meeting. At your last, November 3rd. Right.
So by then we should have all the numbers we need.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not.
But this is not final.
No, not at all.
What's the purpose of it?
It's just, well, 2 things. One, to acknowledge that you got the required to acknowledge that that petition was.
So then the architects wouldn't start till after the November meeting, because
We'll ask them to give us suggestions.
but if they do, they're working on their own time.
Exactly, that's exactly, they work at risk, and they're not the first ones who are asked, you know that. I'm confident they will.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Essentially safeguarding you guys, you don't have to pay them until we close the bonds.
Their contracts are gonna, probably good enough for them to go ahead and start. Their compensation is good.
I'm not sure, sir, that you're ever going to, know more than the limited categories and the estimated costs within those categories. I don't know that more information than that is going to come available anytime soon.
Well, I just would like to see things written a little clearer. I don't see where it says it absolutely can't be. And I know how it goes, I was moving around.
So, Mr. Pittman, your recommendation on the resolution would be what?
It would be to pass a resolution, with the addition of the list of the project categories to which the bond proceeds are limited.
Council, is that permissible for you?
So we're just putting what's in the project description in here?
It's exclusive.
Exclusive use.
But they're not mine.
Would it be now?
But he wants
Then
to
we would
list
talk about, if whatever the money was appropriated for one category, or that they're saying it's going to be, then it needs to go over that, and we need to get it from another, that would come back to the council.
That's
Would
correct.
that be at this time?
It wouldn't be at this time.
If we put an accident in there, we're stuck with it unless we get your consent.
Okay, well, I want to go clarification, because the statute of limitations, okay, the building company is going to be living in it, it's not.
Yes, that's true.
So you said you're coming back to us, but we're not involved with it, after we approve the money, we're not.
Well, no, because the documents that we'll ask you to sign will provide those restrictions. It would not be legal for the administration to depart from that.
Not about the building company.
They certainly won't have the ability to do that.
Just want to know.
No, I understand. It's complicated stuff. It is, by the way.
Well, when we involve so many entities, we got us, we got the Board of Works, we got the Development Corporation.
Yes, and there are technicalities that provide this structure. I will tell you, when the refinancing was done in 2011 of the building, the same structure was used when it was initially done, I want to say 2002, the very same building corporation, the very same parties were involved, have always been involved.
All right, so we can add the language that after we get the estimates, that it can go over the individual categories.
Absolutely.
We'll get you closer.
Council, do you have any further questions for Mr. Pittman or Mr. Friesen? If there are no questions, we would consider a motion to reconsider Resolution 2025-19 with the amendments stated, with the additional list of categories which would be used by the bond proceeds.
I will send that to Allison and the mayor tomorrow, and you guys circulate it. Make sure you're seeing it.
Thank you.
I will move on that motion.
Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Abernathy. Is there a second? And a second by Mr. Wright. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Resolution number 2025-19, a resolution of the common
Council, now we're looking for a motion for unanimous consent to move forward with the possible passage of Resolution 2025-19 as amended on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion by Mr. Rice, second by Mrs. New. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed would be the same sign.
I got a couple questions there, because I get nervous when we do this, because the public has no notification of what we're doing here. Much, most. And then if we pass it through 2 readings, there's no time for the public input back to us. That, you know, it's done. The time they read about it in the paper, it's already done, over with, and nothing else can be done.
Are we talking about this resolution?
Yeah.
On this one, our public hearing next month, that is nothing, that's the only purpose of the meeting is for public input on that.
An introduction of an ordinance, but you cannot vote on it.
Can't vote on it until November.
Okay, all right.
So this one, we're not.
That's what I want to make sure.
So was that unanimous? Everybody was an aye?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can move forward, council, to vote on Resolution 2025-19 as amended. Roll call vote, please.
Abernathy?
Aye.
Everson? Aye. Keelish?
Aye.
New?
Aye.
Tyner?
Aye.
Waters? Right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You will get, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Number 9 on the agenda this evening is the Dunright tax abatement. Mr. Farr is in the audience to represent Teddy Dunn and Dunright.
That's correct. I'm a little embarrassed to follow such august company. Thank you, guys. Incidentally, I have good news for you. Several of you are much better from out here than what I was there. This is a resolution that you've already passed, but what happened was we passed it without having the actual documents. And thanks to Ms. Roby and to Bill Savage, who I think sat down and held their hand, literally, if not figuratively, the documents have now all been filed, approved, and I believe, Allison, you said that they're in the proper form. So we need really just an acknowledgement and approval of what you did the last time, relying upon the fact that they would get it done in a timely basis. And timeliness was not really what they were doing very well, but that's all that's going on. This was actually passed one more time without the documents.
Yes.
So is that just a general motion and approval, Mr. Graham?
It is.
Okay.
And we've already passed it, and you had all of that stuff.
Okay, you've waived your irregularities already. Now it's just a matter of approving the form that's been submitted.
So, council, we're looking for a motion to approve the statement of benefits on personal property and real estate for Dunright Products. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Rice, second by Mr. Abernathy. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Thank you, Michael.
It's much nicer out here.
Council, we're moving down to Resolution 2025-17, an ADA plan with Brett Lott from the county. Brett, if you'd like to come forward, please.
So, we submitted a draft last month for the 2025 ADA, not the ADA, the Title VI implementation plan. This plan was passed by the council in 2022. This document needs to be updated on a regular basis to maintain compliance within other federal authorities to make sure that these plans are updated and maintained ongoing to make that an eligibility for NDOT and other federal funds. The plan that I'm asking for adoption with this resolution updates the 2022 plan to the 2025 plan. The main
Well, my copy still has a little, so I don't know what copy you're looking at tonight.
I think it's the updated one.
Looks like the one Allison distributed has the updated dates of October 25, and January 26.
So the plan here will cover, 2025 through 2026 with an update, scheduled for January 2027. So we'll do this on an annual basis going forward.
Council, is there any further questions for Brett Lott?
Just a second.
There's no further questions. We entertain a motion to read and consider resolution 2015-17 on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Abernathy. Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign.
Resolution 2025-17, resolution adopting August 2025 Title VI implementation plan.
Now, council, we need a motion for unanimous consent to move forward with the possible passage of resolution 2025-17 on the same night it's been introduced. Get a motion by Mr. Wright, second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Now, council, we need a motion to vote on resolution number 2025-17 by roll call vote, please. Motion by Mr. Wright, second by Mr. Waters.
Abernathy? Everson? Keelish? New? Tyner? Waters? Wright?
Thank you, Mr. Lott. Appreciate you being here. Next on the agenda this evening is ordinance number 2496. It's an ordinance amending the traffic code schedule for Chapter 75 of the City of Elwood. Madam Clerk?
I was presented this after Mr. Graham and Mrs. Noon worked on this. So, Danielle, you want to?
Sure. As many of the council is aware of the public safety concern that several residents have shared with me, and I have several emails here if anyone wants to read them, but regarding the safety concern with the parking at the youth football league. On the weekends when they host, there are several weekends where they are parking on the north and the south side of Madison Road. Literally one car can maybe get down the road, let alone an ambulance. So this ordinance is to put up no parking signs on the north and south side. At the park board meeting this month, or actually last month, the youth football league leadership was there as well. And it was discussed that, about the no parking, and they were also in favor of it as well.
Council, do you have any questions for Mrs. Noon? If there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to read and consider ordinance 2496 on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion by Mr. Wright. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign.
Ordinance number 2496, amending the traffic code scheduled for Chapter 75 for the City of Elwood.
Now, council, we're looking for a motion for unanimous consent to move forward with the possible passage of ordinance number 2496 on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion on the floor by Mr. Wright. Second by Mrs. Noon and Mr. Tyner. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Now we need a motion to vote on ordinance number 2496. Roll call vote, please. Motion by Mr. Wright, second by Mrs. Noon.
Abernathy? Everson? Keelish? Noon? Tyner? Waters? Wright?
Moving down the agenda this evening, resolution number 2025-18. It's a transfer resolution. Madam Clerk?
Okay, on this transfer, I'll just talk loud. The bailiff's salary, there is some money that they have not used by doing like different things that in Lowit. So that, there was some extra money there for, Shana had asked if we could do subscriptions. They have to buy books, for the court. And I want to say it's either, it may be quarterly, I'm not sure. But anyway, they keep increasing in amount and amount, so, that was one thing that she asked that we do. Definitely won't need that much, it was just what they will not be spending. The building phone, telephone to building supplies, Lori and Mike had asked that, those be transferred to help with, building supplies. And is there anything else really that, I mean, it was mostly just regular items and stuff, yeah. Sanitation gasoline to sanitation contractual, that will, go to, we're gonna put it in contractual, it could either go to landfill, is where I think we're gonna end up leaving it, so, anyway, Jason has high hopes that he put it in contractual, but it's probably gonna have to be landfill. He also had $7,000 in part-time labor that he has been able to, save by, changing it's changing his routes, correct? His day of routes plus with the recycling.
That is correct.
Yeah, and so he has able to save a bunch of money there. That could also go to landfill. Park, Clay had actually requested we move some of the part-time employee money back to their part-time, and also contractual from the pool. I will have a pool report for everybody, hopefully by mid-October. I was waiting, there was a few bills left in this one. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to give you guys all just a breakdown of the pool and things, but,
Okay, explain to me. We owe somebody $4,000 as part-time employees.
we owe someone?
Well, I mean, the park's not, I mean, the swing's still running there now.
Okay, this is regular park.
This is regular park.
Regular park. It's just, we put it from pool supplies because it had some extra appropriation that you guys had already put there.
No, it says pool supplies. We're taking it from there, we're putting it into pool part-time employees. So did we not have enough money for the part-time employees?
Correct. We do not. Leave once more.
In the park line, not the pool.
Correct.
So, right before it should say park pool?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, park.
The park and the pool is the same budget.
Same budget.
Correct. So, 113, that line 113, that is just Clay's, and then I think 115 or 114 is pool.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. No, you're like, tons of people ask that, so, that's it.
Any further questions regarding resolution 2025-18? If there are no questions, we consider a motion to read resolution and consider the resolution 2025-18 on the same night it's been introduced. A motion on the floor by Mr. Abernathy. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Keelish. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign.
Resolution number 2025-18, transfer.
Now we need a motion for unanimous consent to move forward with the possible passage of resolution 2025-18 on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion by Mr. Keelish. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Now we need a motion to vote on resolution 2025-18 by roll call vote, please. Motion by Mr. Waters, second by Mr. Keelish. All in favor? Opposed?
Abernathy. Everson. Keelish.
Aye.
Newt. Newt.
Oh, sorry, aye.
Tyler. Water. Right.
Number 13 on the agenda this evening is ordinance number 2361, Second Amendment. Madam Clerk?
Pinch hit for Madam Clerk.
Sorry, Mr. Green.
No, I just pointed at him.
That's all right. in review of ordinance 2361, which is the abandoned building ordinance, it was discovered that our maximum fee on that exceeded the statutory limits. So rather than charge somebody more than we're allowed, what you have in there is an amendment of that, knocks it down to $5,000 for a maximum annual fee, which reflects what state law currently is. So it's just a change to that ordinance to make us compliant with state law.
Council, is there any questions? We have been billing and sending notices to vacant building owners that are out of state. Some of those building owners have paid. Others have contacted Mr. Graham's office to work out some sort of an agreement where they can try to get those buildings occupied. Some of the businesses that we've sent abandoned notices to have actually have gotten tenants or getting ready to close on real estate transactions. So council, this is for ordinance number 2361, second amendment. Is there a motion to read and consider? Got a motion by Mr. Abernathy, second by Mr. Wright. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Ordinance number 2361, second amendment, an ordinance of the city of Elwood, Madison County, Indiana, amending the Elwood Code of Ordinances to reduce the abandoned structure monitoring fee established.
Council, we need a motion for unanimous consent to move forward with the possible passage of ordinance number 2361, second amendment on the same night it's been introduced. Got a motion by Mr. Keelish, second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed would be the same sign. Now, council, we need a motion to vote on ordinance number 2361, second amendment by roll call vote. Motion, Mr. Keelish, second, Mr. Waters.
Abernathy?
Aye.
Everson? Aye. Keelish?
Aye.
Noon? Aye. Tyner?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Number 14 under old business, council. I don't believe there's any discussions for those tonight to be presented for consideration.
These are about to be retired off the pole. So if my ordinance line, is there anything? This, the mowing and the, fence, campers, are you still working on that?
I think the tent one is kind of got dropped, and that problem will unfortunately take care of itself here shortly, but, maybe it is a new one.
Okay. All right, so I'll just, that's all I kind of wanted.
Council, that does wrap up the business for Monday, October 6th of the Elwood City Council. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion by Mrs. Noon. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.